What if the signs were there all along, and you just didn't know how to see them? Most people miss the early warnings that a loved one is nearing the end until it's too late. But not you, not today. There's a quiet shift that happens in the final chapters of life. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it whispers. Subtle changes in behavior, body and spirit begin long before the final goodbye. But because we're not taught to look for them, many of us are caught off guard, wishing we had just a little more time, a little more understanding. Today, we'll walk you through 5 of the most overlooked, but deeply important signs that a loved one may be approaching the end of their life. And more than that, we'll talk about how to respond with love, compassion, and presence, so you can make every moment count. The truth is, death in old age is rarely sudden. It unfolds like a quiet tide. And while many expect it to come with flashing lights or emergency calls, it more often begins with tiny shifts: a missed meal, a forgotten word, a nap that stretches just a little longer. Families often brush these moments aside, chalking them up to just aging. But these changes can be the body's way of signaling that it's preparing for a new, quieter rhythm. When we ignore these signs, we miss the opportunity to plan, to connect, and to honor someone's final season with the dignity and depth it deserves. But when we recognize the changes, something remarkable happens. We stop fearing the end and start honoring it. It often begins with skipped meals, then smaller portions, then favorites that once brought joy now barely spark interest. And slowly you begin to notice belts that no longer fit, clothes that hang off the frame, cheeks that look slightly more hollow. This isn't vanity. This isn't a diet. This is the body beginning to slow down. Unlike the gradual metabolism changes of regular aging, unintentional weight loss in the final year of life often comes with deeper physical changes. The digestive system begins to work less efficiently. The body absorbs fewer nutrients. Muscle tissue, the very thing that supports movement and strength, starts to break down. And it's not just about eating less. The desire to eat changes. Hunger signals diminish. Food no longer brings the same satisfaction. It may even become hard to chew or swallow. Families will often rush to cook more meals, bring protein shakes, even insist that loved ones just try to eat more. But when the body no longer asks for food, forcing it can bring discomfort. Instead, what matters most in this stage is comfort. Nourishment in whatever way it's welcomed. A favorite pudding, a warm cup of tea, a spoonful of soup. It's not the calories, it's the care. This kind of weight loss isn't about numbers. It's a message from the body, a message we're meant to hear. We all get tired, but there's a difference between needing a nap and needing all your energy just to sit up in bed. In the final stages of life, fatigue becomes something deeper, a kind of soul weariness that rest doesn't seem to cure. You might see your loved ones sleep longer. They may begin declining outings, conversations, even small gestures like brushing their hair or watching a favorite show. This isn't laziness, it's biology. As the heart becomes less efficient and the organs begin slowing down, the body starts conserving energy for the most basic functions: breathing, circulation, staying conscious. This is why things like walking to the bathroom, standing to cook, or even talking for 5 minutes can leave them winded and pale. Emotionally, this stage can feel like a betrayal, especially for someone who prided themselves on independence. It's frustrating, even embarrassing, to suddenly need help with everything. But what's really needed in this phase is permission. Permission to rest, to slow down, to stop trying to push through it. And from you, gentle patience. Don't coax them to do more. Sit with them in the quiet. Let rest become sacred, not shameful. You notice it one day. They call you by the wrong name. They ask the same question twice in 10 minutes. They seem distant during family meals, as if watching from another room. These are more than senior moments. They're signs that the brain, like the rest of the body, is slowing down. Oxygen supply to the brain lessens. Neurons fire less often, and once sharp minds begin to feel fuzzy around the edges. But the change isn't always just cognitive. It's emotional too. You might see them withdrawing from conversations, preferring silence over small talk. They might stop reading, Stop watching the news. Stop asking about their favorite people. It's not that they don't care, it's that the energy to care, to engage, to feel, to process has grown heavier. For families, this is one of the hardest parts. Watching someone slip in and out of clarity can feel like losing them before they're really gone. But in those fleeting moments of connection, when they smile at you, remember something small, or simply hold your hand, you're reminded that presence still lives inside them. In this stage, don't try to fix the fog. Light a candle, hold their hand, play music they used to love, because love isn't always in words. Sometimes it's in silence. Maybe they catch every cold going around. Maybe a simple scratch becomes a wound that doesn't heal. Maybe their skin bruises easily, or they get rashes more often. These are signs of a weakening immune system, and one of the clearest indicators that the body is preparing for its final phase. When circulation slows, white blood cells become less efficient. Organs don't regenerate as quickly. Even antibiotics may lose their effectiveness. Wounds take longer to close. Infections linger. And sometimes the first sign of trouble isn't even physical, it's mental. Confusion, disorientation, or drowsiness may show up before a fever ever does. This is why attentive care is crucial. Rather than constantly trying to treat every issue aggressively, this may be the time to shift the goal from curing to comforting. Keep them hydrated, keep them warm, moisturize their skin, gently clean wounds, and speak to doctors not just about what's wrong, but what quality of life can be preserved. In this stage, presence and prevention mean more than pills and procedures. Perhaps the most profound sign that someone is nearing life's final edge is the way they begin to breathe. Sometimes slower, sometimes with long pauses, sometimes with patterns that feel strange, like Cheney-Stokes respiration, where breathing alternates between deep breaths and stillness. It can be subtle at first, a little more mouth breathing, a need to sit up higher, a sudden sigh that seems to come out of nowhere. But then you notice their feet feel cold, their hands look pale, their ears have a bluish tint. That's circulation, the body directing blood to the organs that need it most and letting go of what it no longer sees as vital. This can be one of the hardest signs to witness, especially for caregivers. The instinct is to worry, to panic, to fix. But often there's nothing to fix. The body is doing what it's designed to do. In these moments, what matters most is comfort. A cool room, soft blankets, elevated pillows, maybe even soft music. Peace. What your loved one needs is not a rescue, it's a release. And your presence can be the bridge between fear and peace. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean giving up. It means preparing, emotionally, practically, spiritually. It means shifting your mindset from doing more to being more. Being more present, more gentle, more loving. The final months, weeks, or days of life are not just about decline. They're about legacy, about love, about honoring the whole journey, not just the last step. If you're walking this path with someone you love, know this: you are not alone. Others have walked it. You have support. And most importantly, you have the ability to make this chapter meaningful. It starts with paying attention, with listening, with letting go of the need to fix, and embracing the power of simply being there. If this video helped you see things more clearly, please subscribe and share it with someone who might need it. You never know whose life you could touch just by understanding more deeply.